Hi, and welcome to episode 8 of my vinyl and music collection. And this week we're going to delve into my little world of soul and Motown. And we're going to start off with my favourite Motown band, and that would be the Temptations and their album, All Directions. This was the second classic lineup. As I said, there was two classic lineups. You had the first lineup, which would have featured David Ruffin, Otis Williams, Melvin Franklin, Eddie Kendricks, and Paul Williams. The second classic lineup would have been all those bar David Ruffin, and the lead singer would have been changed to Dennis Edwards. I did like Dennis Edwards. I thought he was a great singer. And David Ruffin he was on some of the classic songs like My Girl. So two great classic lineups. And this is All Directions, which has got Dennis Edwards as the lead singer on this. And this is a brilliant album. I love it. I've had it since about 1979. It was released in 1972. And it's got some great tracks on here, and the tracks will be side 1, Funky Music. Track 2 will be Run Charlie Run. The all-time classic Temptation song is on here, and that's Papa Was a Rolling Stone. They say it was written in respect of Dennis Edwards' father, who had died. There's no great clarity on that. But it's a great song. It is a brilliant song, and one which the Temptations have had massive royalties on. There is no doubt about that. Side 2, Love Woke Me Up This Morning. I Ain't Got Nothing. There's a classic song on here again, and it's called The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, which was written by the great British folk singer Ewan MacColl, who wrote the song for Peggy Seeger, who was Pete Seeger's sister. And it was a love song. And we're going to be speaking a little bit more about The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. The Temptations do a brilliant version of that. And they do another version of a song called If I Were a Carpenter, which isn't on this album, but I would recommend that you go out and check it. Another song on here, Mother Nature, great song. And the last song is called Do Your Thing, which is by Isaac Hayes. And we all know Isaac Hayes from the 1970s. He had some great hits, very funky soul singer. And so this is the Temptations, All Directions. It's on the Tamla Motown label. There's the flip side of it, and just in the corner by there you can see the Tamla Motown emblem. They had wonderful bands behind them, orchestras as good as. They've had the lineup here is just guitars alone. We've got Billy Cooper, Joe Messina, Melvin Raggin, Robert Ward, Robert White, Eddie Willis. Drums, we've got 2 drummers, Richard Allen, Aaron Smith. Pianos, we've got organs, bass players, Bob Babbitt. And this album was conducted rather than produced. It was very similar to how Burt Bacharach would have worked in the studios. You've just got to listen to how polished these albums are. They are absolutely wonderful. So this is my first and one of my favourite bands, and this is the Temptations, and it's All Directions. Brilliant album. I'm going to go for another classic lineup, and that was the Four Tops. Now, I've been lucky enough to see the Temptations live, and I've been lucky enough to see the Four Tops as well. Both seen in Cardiff, maybe about 20 years back. I've had this album many years again, and it's a bit of a best of. It's a great cover, and there's the back of it, and the guys involved with the Four Tops would have been Levi Stubbs, Abel Facater, Obie Benson, Lawrence Painton, and the tracks on here would be Reach Out, I'll Be There, which is the world renowned Four Top song. Walk Away Renee, again a classic song. Seven Rooms of Gloom. The Four Tops are doing If I Were a Carpenter, which was written by a folk singer called Tim Hardin, was an American folk singer and writer. Last Train to Clarksville, which was a big Monkees hit. I Turned to Stone, that's just another great song as well. Side 2 starts off with I'm a Believer, and that was written by Neil Diamond. And Neil Diamond said, I could never release that as a single, it wouldn't be a hit. But the Monkees took that to number 1, didn't they? And the Four Tops had a big hit with it as well. Second song, and again, an all-time classic, Standing in the Shadows of Love. Bernadette, which is probably my top 10 of soul songs. Cherish, another great song. Wonderful Baby, what is there else there to do but think about you? A great album, the Four Tops. I've been lucky enough to see them. This again is a Tamla Motown album, and if you can just see by there, you can see the Tamla Motown emblem. This would have been circa about 1970, I would say this album was. And it's one of my favourite albums again. Four Tops, Reach Out. My third album is going to be another Tamla Motown album. They're not all Tamla Motown, the soul which was going on back in the day. This is Diana Ross and the Supremes join the Temptations. Now they were asked to do a concert, and it was recorded, and the Temptations joined Diana Ross and the Supremes in this fantastic lineup. Ed Sullivan did the foreword for it, and it's a lovely little foreword for it. It's a great album. Didn't have fantastic reviews when it first came out, but I think it's it's kind of the test of time has proved it is a classic album. Some great songs on here. Side 1, Try It Baby. I Second That Emotion, which has been released on a few different occasions. Ain't No Mountain High Enough, and if I'm not mistaken, that could be Ike Turner, I'm not sure. I'm Gonna Make You Love Me, which is a great song, I love that one. This Guy's in Love With You, and again, kind of Burt Bacharach comes out there on that one for me. Funky Broadway, and that's the end of side 1. Side 2, I Try Something New, A Place in the Sun, Sweet Inspiration, great song again. Then, and The Impossible Dream. This album was recorded in 1969 and released in 1969, and it's an iconic album. And to be able to listen to these two great bands playing together is amazing. And how funky these album covers were too, weren't they? You know, you could put these in frames. Once again, it's got the Tamla Motown emblem, which is by there. And I'm very lucky to have these albums. You can't actually get these now. If you did, you'd have to search for them. Anyway, Diana Ross, the Supremes, join the Temptations. My fourth album, is going to be from that lovely lady who we've lost this week, Roberta Flack, and the album's called Killing Me Softly With Your Song. And this was all part of a movie called Play Misty for Me. She was a brilliant singer. She was a school teacher. She died at a grand old age. If I'm mistaken, she was 88 years of age. And she was performing most of her life. Didn't really become famous until she was about 31, 32 years of age. And this is on the Atlantic label. There's no controversy about Roberta Flack. They've just never been able to pin her down to a genre. You know, she wasn't on the Tamla Motown label. She was classed as an R&B singer rather than a soul singer. But I put R&B and soul in the same genre anyway. And the songs in this album will be, obviously the first one, Kill Me Softly with his song. Jessie, No Tears in the End. I'm the Girl. Side 2, River. Conversations of Love. When You Smile. And Suzanne. The classic song, The First Time Ever I Love You, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, is not on this one, but you know, just go onto YouTube. It's there, but this album is brilliant, and it's Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly. Okay then, we're going to go down the road now of Northern Soul, and this band only released one album, and they were called the Tempests, made more famous in the north of England rather than in their hometowns of America. They were a 10-piece band, and they were led by Roger and Micah Branch, who were two brothers, guitar player and a piano player. And the singer was Hazel Martin, and he had this wonderful dramatic voice. And the song on here, which in my eyes is a brilliant song, and it's called Someday. And I first heard that on a compilation album for Northern Soul songs. Now, Northern Soul wasn't bands of the north of England. It was a genre where they would pick up 45 singles in America. These were bands which they weren't good enough for Motown, but they were subcontracted out, and the northern clubs of England picked up on these songs, and created what's known in this country as Northern Soul. Brilliant band, the Tempests. One album, a few singles, and if you like that kind of moody, burning trumpet, that very dramatic sound, these were the ones. You know, the song Someday, if you listen to the trumpets and that, it's kind of heart-wrenching. It's a great song. The album's full of great songs, and they would be Would You Believe, Ain't No Big Thing, Happiness, Ain't That Enough, I Cried For You. My favourite, and I think the class song on here, is called Someday. Long Live Our Love, Out of My Life, Can't Get You Out of My Mind, I Don't Want to Lose Her, What You Gonna Do, You Don't Know Like I Know, You're the Star I Wish On, In the Cold Light of Day, The Way to a Man's Heart. So this is the Tempests, great American band who were more famous up the north of England under the genre of Northern Soul. The actual label is called Audio Clarity. Not much is said about that. It's a great picture in the front. As you can see, there's 9 white guys, and we've got the singer in the middle, which is Hazel Martin, and he's there, and he's the sole black musician in that band. So that is called Would You Believe, the Tempests. Great album. My next album is Dione Warwick, I'll Never Fall in Love Again. Again, do you class her as soul? Do you class her as R&B? So all I know is she's a brilliant, brilliant singer. And Burt Bacharach wrote a lot of her songs. And she's one of America's greatest talents. And I discovered her in the early 80s. She was still having hits, some big hits. And this is a great album, and there's some great songs on here. I'll read a few out to you now. The Wine is Young, I'll Never Fall in Love Again. Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, that was from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, wasn't it? Loneliness Remembers What Happiness. Something. Papa Mache, Knowing When to Leave, Let Me Go to Him, Didn't We, and My Way. The album was produced by Burt Bacharach and Hal David, and once again, as I mentioned earlier, it was conducted in the recording studio. And a great gatefold sleeve. As you know, I do like my gatefold sleeves. I'll sit here and I'll just sort of peruse them. The music is on and I'll have a little look at them. Great portrait of Dione Warwick on the back. Great singer. She was in competition with our Liverpool singer called Cilla Black, and Burt Bacharach wrote for the both of them, and they were having hits in America and in the UK with the same songs. Anyway, that is Dione Warwick. Absolutely love her. Okay, we're going to get a little bit funky now. And in the mid-70s, 1976, we had a band called Royce come out of America. And the whole album came from the movie called Car Wash. And this is Royce Greatest Hits. Now, when I was a youngster, I kind of started off with kind of glam rock. Then we had a couple of years in the middle where things got a bit funky, got a bit disco, and then we got a bit punk rocky. And I thought, I don't like all this kind of funky music. But, you know, as the years went by, I started looking back into them, you know. So we had bands like Chic, Royce. There was a big influence by Nile Rodgers, who produced a lot of these albums. So that is called Royce Greatest Hits. And the songs in here will be Love Don't Live Here Anymore, which was huge in the UK. Wishing on a Star. I Wanna Get Next to You. Angel in the Sky. I'm in Love. I Wonder Where You Are Tonight. You're on My Mind. Is It Love You're After? The most famous song as well, on track 2, Car Wash. It makes you feel like dancing, another great song. Do Your Dance. First Come, First Serve. Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. And Oh Boy. But I love these songs. Wishing on a Star was a great song. Love Don't Live Here Anymore, a great song. These were great, funky soul singers. And they were a little bit jazzy as well. And I'm so glad I kind of delved back into bands like Royce and Chic. Anyway, that's another great album which is always on my turntable. Back in the mid-70s and the early 70s, we had another band which came out of America, and they were called the Stylistics. These were huge in the UK, absolutely huge, and the songs on here were absolutely world beaters. And I did love the Stylistics. I remember buying these singles. I think I've had this album a very long time. Probably bought this not far off around the same time as they were having their hits. And when we used to go to the discos, you can guarantee that the Stylistics would be on here. They were created in about 1968, and we had the fantastic Russell Tompkins Jr. as a singer, and he had this brilliant falsetto tenor voice, and you couldn't mistake his voice. And the songs on here, Betcha by Golly Wow, Break Up to Make Up, my favourite, You Make Me Feel Brand New, I'm Stone in Love with You, another great song, You Are Everything, Rock and Roll Baby, Let's Put It All Together, People Make the World Go Round, Stop, Look, Listen, and You're a Big Girl Now. The Stylistics. A little picture on the back, some portrait pictures on there, and this would have been on the Phonogram label. The best of the Stylistics, and they weren't a Motown band, they were just a basic, fantastic, world-class soul band and a dance band as well. My last album will be a Motown album, and it's Motown, The Greatest Hits. Now, this was a Christmas present a few years back, and one of the best Christmas presents I've had. And it's got some, it's a double album, which is fantastic. And some great songs on here. So we've got Money, That's What I Want. If you remember, that was a big hit by a British band, and that was written by Barrett Strong. Please Mr. Postman, that was sung by the Marvelettes. Do You Love Me, The Contours. My Guy, Mary Wells, well, brilliant singer, can't say too much about Mary Wells, she's out of this world. Dancing in the Street, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, and David Bowie and Mick Jagger had a hit with that. Baby Love, The Supremes, My Girl, The Temptations, and that would have been with David Ruffin. I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie, Honey Bunch, The Four Tops. The B-side, Do I Love You, Frankie Wilson, This Old Heart of Mine, the Isley Brothers. I love the Isley Brothers, another great band. Now we've got David Ruffin's brother here now, and the song is called What Becomes of the Broken Hearted, and that's Jimmy Ruffin. And he had many hits, especially in the UK, back in the 70s. Another Four Top song, Reach Out, I'll Be There. Marvin Gaye. I haven't got any Marvin Gaye vinyls, I should, but his all-time classic, yeah, which was written by Creedence Clearwater Revival. I heard it through the grapevine. I Want You Back, the Jackson 5. Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours, Stevie Wonder. It's got so many world-class, brilliant songs in here. The second album will be War, Edwin Starr, love that song. The Tears of a Clown, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. Stoned Love, The Supremes. I'm Still Waiting, Diana Ross. So we got the Supremes for the first one, and we got Diana Ross for the second one. So I imagine they did this separately. What's Going On? That's a great Marvin Gaye song. Gotta Be There, Michael Jackson. The last side, the first time I think I ever heard this song, I think I heard it was Stevie Ray Vaughan, the great blues singer and guitar player, Superstition. Don't Leave Me This Way, Thelma Houston, another great song. The Commodores, 3 Times a Lady, that was a huge hit in the UK back in the 70s. Lionel Richie, if I'm not mistaken. Upside Down, Diana Ross. All Night Long, Lionel Richie. And I Love Your Smile, Shanice. This is a great compilation. I would definitely try to find that one somewhere. It's great. I love it. Motown's greatest hits. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed episode 8. A little delve into my Motown and soul collection. If you go on to my YouTube channel, you can see the playlist there, and you'll see all the episodes in chronological order. If you like, put a like on it. If you want to subscribe, it's free. It would be doing me a great favor. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next week for episode 9. Take care now. Bye.